many Shias, especially in the eastern part of Turkey, they do not go to the mosque because they say that when Hazrat Imam Husain was martyred, his head was presented to Yazid while he was sitting in the mosque. Therefore, Shias do not enter a mosque. They have their own places where they come together instead. Are they justified to do so? What is Huzur's comment in this subject? A brother asked from Germany.
That's very interesting piece of information you have given us. I didn't know that there were such a sect of Shiites residing in Turkey who do not enter mosques because it was in a mosque in that Hazrat Imam Husain was beheaded. Right? I think this
It was presented to Yazid while he was sitting in the mosque.
What?
His head was presented to Yazid when he was sitting in the mosque.
I see. That is it.
Yes, that's
His head was presented. I was amazed because, in the first place, because I know he was killed in the battle which took place at near what river?
Karbala.
No, near what river? Dajla.
Dajla al-Furat.
Huh?
Yes.
Or Al-Furat. Near Al-Furat. You see, it was there that he was murdered. There are many reports how he was murdered. We forget about it. But I was wondering why they insist that he was murdered in a mosque. Now you have clarified it. They do not say that he was murdered in a mosque. They say his head was presented to Yazid while he was sitting in a mosque. Right? So the corollary is absolutely irrational and meaningless, because his head was presented while Yazid was sitting in a mosque, so they should not enter mosques. And if his head were presented while Yazid was sitting in a home, would they cease to enter homes? It's extremely stupid. Two things cannot be connected directly. But they have their own stupid way of thinking. What verses of the Holy Quran have they to support them? If the head is presented anywhere, it's irrelevant. Beheading is a crime. Beheading of Hazrat Imam Husain is a crime. They should have just stopped short at that and mentioned and protested against this, that's all. But they're still a part of Islam, that is the point. The real point we should have raised was that such as these so-called Muslims, they are still accepted as a part of Islam. And Ahmadis, with all their beliefs supporting the Islam of the Holy Prophet of Islam sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they are ousted from Islam just for the alleged crime of deviating from the mainstream Muslims on the interpretation of al-verse Khatam al-Nabiyyin. So this indicates there is no sense of justice left among the leaders of Islam today. They do whatever they like. They may admit to Islam even the non-believers. Do you know that?
Yes.
Which non-believers do they admit? Recently, Jamaat Islami of Pakistan, which styles itself as Jamaat Islami, have started recruiting the sweepers, Christian sweepers, who sweep the streets and houses of Pakistan, as members of Jamaat Islami. They're Christians they believe in Jesus to be the Son of God. Yet they admit them to increase their number and still call it Jamaat Islami. So what sort of Islam there would be left when the believers in a so-called Son of God are also included? But this chairman of Jamaat Islami had this sense of justice to explain why. Why so, and why not Ahmadis? If the non-Muslim sweepers are admitted to Jamaat Islami, why not Ahmadis? He says, because they do not believe in the verse Khatma Rabbi, while the sweepers do. Imagine. This is what is happening to the world of Islam. Please. And additionally, I may add this much, that recently, after having seen his dreams to come to power completely shattered, he has raised a voice of jihad against the present government, in which he claims that the new participants who will increase the number of Jamaat Islami would also participate. And the first target they have set for themselves is to clean Islamabad completely. It is for the first time that I have heard a sensible thing from him. He always speaks nonsense. But this time he is very sensible. Because with more Jamaat Islami members to be the sweepers, what better that could make? We need sweepers for cleaning the cities of Pakistan. So after they sweep the streets and houses, I would request him to go carry on this work of cleaning Pakistan with these new recruits. And they should turn from city to city their attention and clean all Pakistan altogether. This is the first time that they have spoken realistically. Please. Now returning to the same question, are they refusing to enter the mosques where the head was presented? It would have been far more reasonable to refuse to enter the place, a similar place to the place where Hazrat Imam Husain was beheaded. That is far more sensible. The question of where the head was presented is irrelevant. The question of where he was beheaded is a relevant question. So any field like the field of Karbala, a white field, barren field, where he was beheaded somewhere, if they had refused to enter any such wide field which was similar to Al-Karbala, then there would be some logic at least. You understand? They said, this is a field which reminds us of Karbala, so we refuse to enter it. Like this is a mosque which reminds us of a mosque where the head of Hazrat Imam Husain was presented to Yazid. The logic is the same. So they should refuse to enter any wide open fields which should remind them of the murder of Hazrat Imam Husain. It is stupid, I know, but it has some internal logic. But they enter Karbala itself. That is the point. In large numbers, these people go to Karbala, and it does not offend their sensitivity to this question. So they claim to have any logic in their beliefs, but they deny that logic themselves. if there were really any logic, as I told you, the place where he was beheaded, a protest should have been lodged against that place. And as such, the Sunnites should refuse to enter their homes, because the head of Hazrat Imam, Hazrat Usman, the third caliph, was beheaded in a home. The head was removed from body in a home when he was reading the Quran. So, if there is any logic in this behavior of the Turkish Shiites, the Sunnites also should protest against this. They should never enter their homes, and they should never hold the Quran in their hands, because it was like this that Hazrat Usman was beheaded. Right?
Some of them, they don't perform even namaz. Some of them, they don't perform namaz even. Shias, some sects of the Shias, they don't perform namaz.
They don't say namaz?
No.
Because they think Hazrat Imam Husain did not say namaz? Or they do it because they think he was beheaded while he was saying namaz. You see, if they should do so, then the anomaly becomes complete with Hazrat Usman being beheaded holding the Quran in his hand. So while Hazrat Imam Husain was murdered while he was saying prayer, so the people should not say prayer anymore. So while Hazrat Usman was beheaded while reading the Quran should never be read again. That will be the real Karbala for Islam. Please.